find out the wins and go, did you know Craig Hislop did not vote for you this week?
Okay, we've got sophomore free safety Jontrell Rockamore. Jontrell's going to recap the Boise State game and how he thought the defense played, and then we'll take some questions. Go ahead, Jontrell.
I felt the defense played a wonderful game. We made big-time stops when we needed to, and a lot of good players stepped up. Daniel Gray, Anthony Williams. It's a lot more, but I feel like we played as one good unit, and we did a good job.
You talked about the one pass play they did complete there in the end zone when you're running over there and the one did. What happened on that play?
It was just a bust coverage. We practiced all week, making that coverage perfect, and just blown assignment.
So did you not see what you thought you'd see, or?
I had two verticals pushing up towards me, and instead of leaning to the outside vertical, I was leaning towards the inside vertical. I had help inside, so I should have been on the outside vertical, and they got me on that one.
So, playing back there at safety is a real complicated game.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching everything that's happening all over the place and trying to react to it. Talk a little bit about that.
Playing safety is a tough position, but it's also a great position. You get to see everything. You get to be the commander, related to the quarterback of the defense sometimes, but sometimes you make the big play, and sometimes the big play made on you, and it's a terrible feeling, but you just got to bounce back and make a play.
Because that's in this game, almost every single play, except for maybe 2 or 3 busted plays, are what made the difference defensively for them to score the ball against you guys.
Yeah, we played a great game on defense, but those little ones that got us, wish we can get them back.
They've started a freshman quarterback the last couple of weeks. Does the defense do anything differently when you play a freshman quarterback as opposed to a veteran type guy?
We treat them all the same. We try to get in his head a little bit more, try to disguise a little bit more. But other than that, you just try to be on your game. And you can get hit any time, as you saw last game, but you just play with great intensity, great focus, and do what you did all practice.
Jontrell, as well as you guys played defensively against Boise, you did have a forced a defensive turnover. Colorado State has turned the ball over 9 times in 5 games this year. So how confident are you that you guys can get back to forcing some turnovers on Saturday?
We stress turnovers big time and throughout practice, and turnovers is a huge role in our defense. So we're going to try to get after them just like any other team we play.
They had a great wide receiver last year, Higgins,
Mm-hmm.
for them. They got a junior college guy who's catching more passes than the others, but what does it look like, the preliminary look at their receiver group for Colorado State? What do you think?
Right now, we haven't really met as a defense and looked at them too much, so I'm not really sure.
You remember last year how they played things? It's kind of mostly a one-back system,
Mhm.
3 wideouts a lot.
Yeah.
Is that a hard system to kind of defend it for pass and run, or what?
Going against our offense throughout fall camp and spring ball, we throw out so many formations. I feel like our defense should be able to handle anything that we've getting thrown at us.
So alignment-wise, it'd be like our offense a lot.
Similar.
Jontrell, obviously some Aggie fans were a little curious what the defense was going to be like, losing so many starters, losing 3 guys that are playing in the NFL right now. Very rarely does a team hold Boise State to 21 points on blue turf. So do you feel like you guys maybe, I don't know if silence is the right word, but answered any potential critics with a performance like that?
I would say that our defense changes every year, just like you said. Losing great players that's going into the NFL right now, that's in the NFL playing. We don't really pay attention to the critics, listen to the noise. We just focus and play our game. And I guess that was a result of it last night, but we still have a lot to prove. I feel like our main goal is to win a Mountain West championship, and until that's done, I don't think any game will satisfy us.
Have you noticed the group up ahead of you, though? That were the linebackers there was some concern about. Looks like to me those guys have really stepped up the last 2 weeks to go along with the defensive line.
Oh, definitely. A lot of people, that was our main concern of hearing people say we losing so many great linebackers that come through here, but I feel like we have great linebackers to replace those great linebackers that we have right now. And they've, like you said, they've stepped up and played it great this whole season. So you couldn't ask for more.
How is it, though, to have to replace Dallin? That's kind of hard for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
How hard he plays, what he does.
Dallin is a special player. You really can't replace Dallin. He's so smart in the field. He's a leader on this team, and what you do is you just try to work around it, and next man up has to play his role and do a great job.
You surprised Marwin made the NFL after playing with him last year?
I'm actually not surprised Marwin made the NFL. He's a great guy. He's a great leader that was in the safety room with us last year, and he plays with so much intensity and effort that any team would be lucky to have him.
Anything else for John Trell? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, head coach Matt Wells will recap the Boise State game.
I was about to say, I think you got me back a couple years.
Review Colorado State, and we'll take some questions.
Oh, you got to laugh a little. Live a little, love a little. I think I got those in the wrong order. Hey, Wade, is that thing already rolling?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right, good. What? That's weird. Oh, that camera's rolling? Are y'all ready to start? Daniel, you ready? Okay. Okay, looking into Colorado State this week. First of all, they, as I look at them offensively, they've obviously played a few quarterbacks. But the kid that they've settled on for right now is big, strong-armed, throws the ball down the field, and got some athleticism to him. Number one, the running back has got some speed. He's got some juice. The guys up front, first of all, just in seeing just a very brief so far on Monday morning of their defense, not a lot yet until the week goes on, but talking to our defensive coaches and seeing what little I've seen is very, very well coached up front on the offensive line, and they do a good job of moving some guys off the ball. Defensively, as I look at them, 33, it seems like we've been playing against him forever. He runs around, makes good plays. He's smart. He's long. He's athletic. 55 is a tough guy that they like to keep in the box. Right there, they playing field and boundary with their DBs as far as their safeties and their corners. But this is a tough program, tough guys, tough place to play. Fort Collins, it's a good atmosphere there with these guys in that home stadium. So it'll be a tough place to play. It always is. Every year we go there, played there a lot. So our guys have to be up for the challenge, and kind of recapping a little bit of the Boise State game. As I look back on it and we kind of dissect it yesterday, too many mistakes really to be able to try to win a close game like that against a really, really good opponent at a place that's tough to play. We made too many mistakes on offense. I thought we had some explosives. We threw and caught the ball well. We had some explosives, and then we killed ourselves once we got past the 50. You guys already know about all the procedure penalties, and we can certainly talk about that if you want to, but that got us behind the 8 ball, and it bogged us down. Red zone offense, 2 trips into the red zone, came away with 3 points. The difference there is 11. It's the difference in the ball game. Find a way to score touchdowns in the red zone, you win the game, or you tie the game. But game goes down to the maybe the last drive's a field goal, or what have you. But so not very good job in the red zone offense, and mistakes that hurt us on offense and just kind of bogged us down. Defensively, I thought the way we played McNichols for a lot of the game was really, really good. I thought we played well to hold them 17 points below their average, and that's coming after they've played 2 Pac-12 schools. and well over 100 some yards under their average. I think was a good day by the defense. They'll tell you that they gave up too many points. I'll agree with that because that's the culture we've established around here. Told you guys that after the game. I've heard the players say it and heard them saying that yesterday. And that's what we believe in. But, from a head coach, being a head coach, whether I'm on the offense or the defensive side more than one or the other, it doesn't matter. 21 points should be enough to win you a ball game. And we didn't allow that to happen. So anyway, with that, I will go ahead and open it up for most of your questions.
What were the circumstances of Utah State throwing 50 passes in one game? Was it Devontae Mays being out? Was it the way they were playing you? 50 is a lot for anybody, and especially.
I didn't anticipate throwing at 50. Steve, I would say both your answers. Mays being out, the way they played us. We didn't block for the run very good. I mean, there were a couple times or a few times maybe we were ID'd wrong, but we didn't play a very good technique at times. We didn't run through any arm tackles at running back. The whole run game in general I didn't think was very good. That led to a few more passes. And then when you get down 2 scores in the middle of the fourth quarter, I think certainly you just added 12 passes or so, whatever attempts that you normally wouldn't have had. Does that make sense? So I would have thought it'd have been more in the 40s, and certainly not to the 50 point. But so I think you had a few of those factors contribute to it.
Matt, you talked on Saturday night about how uncharacteristic.
Sunday morning.
Yeah, I guess it would be Sunday morning. That helped. You did some uncharacteristic things. Just looking back at the fall starts, was it more of the team being antsy? Was it the crowd noise? Was it trying to account for a good Boise State defensive line? What was the biggest culprit there?
It's a good question. I don't have that answer. I don't know if I'm supposed to have that answer on Monday press conference. I don't. Probably all the above. I can't say that the crowd caused it. We've certainly played in big and loud stadiums before and haven't had that many. We didn't practice any different for crowd noise than we have when we typically go into, Wisconsin, Rice-Eccles, LaVell Edwards Stadium. Those are some of the loudest. I mean, the 2 interstate, Rice-Eccles and LaVell Edwards Stadium, those are 2 of the louder stadiums we'll ever play in. They're really loud. We haven't had 7. I believe we had 7 on offense. For the record, I know I got asked after the game, but only one of them was on a pace. The rest of them were all 1st and 10 calls. The pace was a 1st and 10. They were all 1st and 10. That's what hurt us. It's 1st and 10 and went to 1st and 15. Only one of those was a hurry-up offense. The rest of them were normal pace and normal tempo, and a few motions were involved and those kind of things. And they were wideouts. They were O-line. And certainly a lack of concentration. It was loud. Yeah, it was loud, and they're good on defense. I don't think those reasons had a whole lot to do with it. But they're uncharacteristic of us.
Along those lines, Anthony Williams with the targeting call, what did he tell you about what had happened and how did you feel about that?
I didn't really give him a chance to tell me much about it. We had to send him to the locker room. So, it's a targeting. It's above the shoulder. It's above the head or above the shoulder, and it's part of that. And review held up, and suspended for the first half of this next game. So.
That's always the rule then, of whatever half they're in.
Yeah, they got to finish the half that they're in, and then so he'll have to sit out the first half of the Colorado State game.
You have been really good on 3rd downs on the year. Was it those 1st and 15s that caused it
Hurts.
more in this
Yeah.
game, or did you, when you went back and evaluated some of your 3rd down calls, was it not? Did their defense change for 3rd downs to get better against you guys who've been good?
They didn't give us anything that we hadn't seen. I didn't think there was one that was a little bit of a different twist that they ran up front, but we didn't protect well at times. But you get in 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 10, and you're hanging on to the ball. typically a little bit longer. If you're going to throw for the routes that get those depths, certainly sometimes you're going to have to throw a screen pass, or you're going to throw some balls below it and run for it to get the ball out quicker. But you put yourself in that position. They know the launch point of the quarterback more than likely, and it makes it a little harder to protect. You just can't put yourself in that position. We had been really good, very good on third downs for 4 games in a row, but that many third and longs is a lot to be in. Third long and third and extra long.
That was the other thing. Your defense gave up third downs in this game, where you had actually been pretty good defensive third down team.
Yeah, we gave them cushion a little bit, and they did a nice job of throwing the ball right in front of us on a couple third and longs.
You played at least a game or two over at Hughes Stadium and coached a few.
I've been there a bunch. Yeah, I've played and coached there.
Any memories of over there?
I tell you what, I've got a horrible memory. 1994, it was the second or third game I'd started, and I remember they had Greg Myers was a safety. That was the year they finished in the top 25. They were really good on defense, really good. Let me think of the DNs. Brady, Sean Moran, Brady Smith, maybe. Man, I am on live press conference and I'm guessing at something. That's coaching 101. Don't guess in a live press conference. Brady, I believe, is one of the defensive ends' names, and the other one was, if I'm guessing right on those names, I think they were all whack at the end of that day. They had so many sacks, and I remember getting concussed in Hughes Stadium. That the one end where you come out of the tunnel where the locker rooms are, that was grass back in the day, and it was like a 1 o'clock kickoff, so it was beautiful. But all I remember is looking is over the horizon as I'm getting up off the ground is the edge of the stadium, and everything was orange and red, and it was not a cloud in the sky. It was beautiful, and that was a long day. The Rams got after the Aggies that day. Yeah, they were really good.
Your battle over there 2 years ago.
They had a really good inside linebacker too.
That battle
2 years ago in 14, we went through got a quarterback hurt in the second half, and kicked a field goal at the end to beat us, and we gave up a shot. That was a battle. That was a good game. I mean, gave up a shot on play action over a free safety's head, and they got into field goal range and beat us. Thought it was going to overtime. It was a good battle, really good battle. I remember the 13 game here in Logan. We won 13-0, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of the best defensive games I've ever seen here. I think Capri Biggs had over 1,000 yards rushing the 3 previous weeks combined, and we shut them out. The 12 game when we beat them in it was Coach Anderson's last year. I was the assistant. It was a good battle. So yeah, we've had good battles over the years. It's a good rivalry for Utah State. Really good. 2 ag schools, and but it's been good matchups.
And after what happened last year, can you imagine their defensive coaches with Ken Myers, what he did last year, how they're going to try to play him this year?
Well, Coach English, the defensive coordinator, we've played him before when he was the DC at Wyoming, when he was at Colorado State, or with Coach McElwain. Last year he and another guy were both coordinating it. Now it's all him. I got a lot of respect for Marty English. I think the biggest thing when I think of Marty English defenses, I think of multiple fronts, odd and even, but I think of guys that are just going to play hard. I remember those Wyoming defenses of his always played hard, and they were screwed in on the edges, and they're tough physical guys, and this bunch is no different. But we got a lot of respect for him.
You had a kid hurt in a car wreck
Yeah.
Thursday night. Have you talked to him?
Yeah.
Any update on him?
Yeah, Zach.
Also, where is he in your program? Was he redshirting this year? Was that the plan?
Yeah. Let me give you a brief update. Question was on the accident on Thursday night. Zach Swinson is a freshman, return missionary. safety for us was in his redshirt season. Was in a car wreck Thursday night, coming back out of the canyon, single car accident, and sustained a broken leg. Had surgery on it early Friday morning. Spent the weekend at home and have communicated with him and his father, and I think the surgery went well. It'll be a very, very long recovery. They think it'll be a complete recovery, and so we'll get him back up here soon. And but very fortunate that was the only thing that happened. Along those same, not along the same lines, but in the injury notes, let me go ahead and let you know, Dax Raymond is out for the year. Dax had season-ending back surgery a little while ago, and so we'll use this as his redshirt year. He'll have 3 years when he gets back, and certainly a big part of the offense that we're missing right now that nobody writes about or nobody talks about, but I would consider him a starter at tight end with Wyatt Houston, and we certainly would have played out of a lot more 12 personnel sets, and it's an injury that Dax sustained during first day of training camp, and so it's very unfortunate for him. But look forward to a complete recovery and should have him full speed with us starting June 1st when our summer program starts next year.
What is the identity of this team? It was last year Stevens throwing to Higgins, and now Stevens is third string quarterback. Higgins is gone. Is Gallup kind of their?
I'm glad Higgins is gone.
Yeah, no kidding.
Man, he's a good player.
And then they still want to. They kind of use all three of the running backs too.
Yep.
Don't they?
Yep. I think you got good receivers, good hands, and there's good speed. Certainly, Higgins is one of the best in the nation, not in the Mountain West, in the nation, and so he was a big time prime target wide out, just like Hunter Sharp was for us. Very similar in how we both tried to target those two guys a lot last year, but they've played a few quarterbacks. Five's a runner. Nick started out as the starter. So I think they're probably still working through some of that of their identity on offense and who they want to be around a starting quarterback. And until you really solidify one as a starter, I think that's things that you go through as an offensive staff trying to figure out who you are a little bit.
Didn't see the game, but they had 400 and some yards against Wyoming, and had I think more yards than Wyoming, and still got beat like they did.
Yeah, a little bit of an interesting tidbit. You had a fumble that they recovered right there, I think, in the second quarter, and it was a one-play 30-yard touchdown right after it by Wyoming. Then they had a pick six that went to the house. So you had a couple touchdowns there real quick back-to-back in the second quarter that expanded the lead a little bit. Because they had a lot of yards. Both teams, it was very similar yardage when you were asking about yardage.
Matt, it's just, we were asking questions about the wide receivers at the first couple weeks of the season, but how pleased have you been with their development? You really have some capable targets that they've proven in the last few weeks.
The three wideouts that have played well, and I'll put Wyatt Houston in that category too as a receiving tight end, but Ron Quavian and Rayshad, as well as Andrew, those three have been pretty consistent. We've had very few drops, and they've made competitive catches. Right now, we are throwing it and catching it a little bit better than maybe I anticipated, and really even maybe not having the Hunter Sharp where he's going to catch every ball and every shot and you're going to try to scheme for him. These maybe a little bit more controlled passing game and some of the things that we can do in the quick game and off the run pass stuff that we can do to get to the ball in those guys' hands. They've done a nice job of catching it. I'm really proud of those guys. Really, especially A-Rod, just as a senior, with the emergence of Rayshad a little bit, moving Andrew outside, and he took it in stride, learned what to do, and he's done a nice job as an outside receiver. When really, truly, naturally inside would probably be a little bit more natural to him.
How much of that was him just getting a little more healthy as the season progressed, or has progressed?
A-Rod, yeah, it's the healthier he's gotten, the better. We've tried to minimize him on teams. He's actually one of our better kickoff cover guys. We've tried to minimize him a little bit on that, and certainly he's going to be the punt returner. But, yeah, I think the more he gets healthy and his knees feel a little bit better, then he's a little bit more fresher.
I always ask every week, when you study film, who stood out in this game? Who would you say against Boise State played well for you guys, both sides?
As I look at it, defensively, I thought both our corners played really well. Probably the best game that they've both had together, Gray and Davis. Jalen Davis has played really good 2 weeks in a row. I've said that to you. He's playing at a high level right now. I'm proud of him. Anthony Williams played his tail off. He was everywhere. He was really good. Offensively, I thought Austin Stevens had a good game up front. The receivers we just talked about. And then Kent threw some really good balls. He's got some stuff that he missed early in the game, but he'll get better and better. We got to get him. He's got to keep improving each week, and we got to protect around him. So much a quarterback is you're a byproduct of the guys around you, whether it's protection or receivers making great catches. They certainly made some good catches for him, and we got to get the run game going. Or I'm not sure we're gonna hold up throwing it 50 times a game, to be real honest with you, Steve. No, it's about your 50. You asked me about throwing it 50 times. Craig, anything today? What you got?
Is it unfair to say that when we have a...
If I answer, before you even ask that, if I answer yes, are you going to have a follow-up question to this? Okay.
No, just your answer will be all I need.
Well, I'm not going to say yes.
Is it unfair to say that when we have a kick that means a lot in a game, I'm thinking over the years, last 4 or 5 years, we've missed some kicks that could really make a difference.
Very fair question. And I would say that your answer is more true than false. Yeah. We have missed some kicks that meant something in games. Over the years, you're saying, I'll just say 6 years I've been here. The kick Saturday came back to haunt us. That's a 7-6 ball game at halftime, and, you're not sure if it's going to turn into one of those 11 a.m. Big Ten games that, ends up being 9-7, 12-7. And, we don't bog down, make the mistakes that we do in the high red zone, or once we cross the 50 to the 35 and the 40, maybe we push the ball down there and we kick a 41-yarder or 42-yarder, and it's 9-7, But, yeah, I don't think it's an unfair question to ask. Did I not answer it the way you wanted me to?
Do you open the kicking job always, or you're always looking at all your kickers, I think, each week?
We are, yeah. I think it's unfair to say that it's a wide open kicking job, but I think it's absolutely getting evaluated, just like every other position. All right. You're welcome.
Okay, we've got junior quarterback Kent Myers. Kent's going to recap how he thought the offense played against Boise State, and then we'll take some questions.
I think we had some good drives going, but the matter of the fact is we had too many mental penalties to start it off. And with that being said, the third down efficiency, we're really low, and it's just because we got behind the chains really early, and we just couldn't score in the red zone when we had the opportunity. So for us to be a great offense, I feel like we have to do those three things.
How comfortable are you getting with, Coach Wells called them the 4 big receivers right now.
Mm-hmm.
3 guys outside Wyatt. Real comfortable with the receiving group there.
Yeah, we're getting real comfortable. I think me and we call him Debo, of course, I'm 19. That's my go-to target on the outside, and he's doing really well. But also A-Rod, he's switching from outside to inside. He's doing really well. And, Wyatt, he's been coming clutch on third downs. And, you know, just with everybody just being, you know, mentally focused during practice, and everybody just, you know, finding their role and coming clutch with it. So.
Did you ever think you'd throw 50 passes in a game? And going forward, do you mind that if the offense turns into a 45, 50 pass?
No, you know, coming in, when I was picking the school, you know, I knew this was, you know, we're going to throw the ball a lot, but also run the ball. And, you know, in high school, you know, we're an air raid offense, always throwing the ball. And I just feel like, you know, if the opportunity comes and I'm given the, you know, the time to throw 50 passes, you know, I will. And I feel like, you know, recently we've been one-dimensional, and I feel like that's why we haven't really won as many games as we want to right now, just because I feel like when we're a good offense, we're able to run the ball and pass the ball. And right now, we're doing okay in the run game. You know, early on this season, we're doing really well, but now it's starting to slow down. And I feel like we just got to pick that up. And in the passing game, you know, receivers and, you know, the linemen giving me time to throw the ball on them, making some good, hard, you know, catches. I feel like that's going pretty well. But like I said, if I'm able to throw the ball 40, 50 times, you know, that's just going to come with it. And with Boise State, I didn't think I was going to throw that many times. But then as well, you know, I see the run game not, you know, coming along. So I know that if we want to score points, I'm going to have to pass the ball.
Did you take, I mean, you got sacked a couple of times in this game. Did you take as much physical shots as you did in the Air Force game?
No, I think Air Force, I kind of expected that more because they're playing a lot of cover zero. Cover one, they blitz every time, and I think I took more shots that game. But you know, Boise State, you know, congrats to them. You know, they have a phenomenal defensive line, and you know they were coming back there. And sometimes, you know, they just made some better plays. And I didn't really get hit as much as I did Air Force, but they were, you know, kind of getting back there. But you know, it happens with you know, playing quarterback. You're gonna have to take some good shots.
Is that defensive line playing really well or knowing you well to knock down passes at certain times of the game, or is that something you've got to work on to do better?
I think it just comes with me being 5'11". You know, it's gonna happen. You know, they're 6'4", 6'5", and you know, with some of the quick game stuff, me trying to find a hole. And I think, you know, they're starting to game plan that, as in, you know, when he's looking a certain way, go ahead and get their hands up. And I mean, it does make sense. And, you know, it comes with it. Sometimes I have to, you know, find a crease, but then sometimes I really can't, because as soon as I throw it, it's not like they're holding their hands up the entire time. As soon as I throw it, they end up putting their hands up. But like I said, it just comes with, you know, me being 5'11", 6 foot. But
speaking of game plans, if they turn on the film of last year's game, Colorado State, they're going to see you running all over the place. I think all their defensive guys are going to do something really special for you, or try to do something special for you in this game to not let you run.
yeah, you know, I think so. I plan for them to do that, but just how we kind of, our game plan from last year, we just really just took what the defense gave us, and that's why I had the opportunity to do that. You know, on some of the stuff, it was some draw plays or whatever, and the hole was there. You know, we had incredible blocking, and then just me making the right read and cuts and stuff like that. So I feel like, I mean, you can't really game plan against us with that, but then also, you know, I'm just really taking what the defense gives me. So if they want to do something else, then we're going to change it up and, you know, do something else that will make us win the game.
Kent, as frustrating as it was to not score more points against Boise, I mean, how much can you build on not turning the ball over? You throw 50 passes, and not throw an interception, you guys can fumble. How much can you build off of that?
You know, it's really hard to, you know, say that. You know, we were in the red zone, I think, 3 or 4 times, and we just couldn't score. We had an opportunity to score. We had a drop pass. And I just feel like, you know, we just got to find a way somehow, you know, with this week and all the weeks coming, you know, coming up, we got to find a way to score. If it's running the ball, passing the ball, doing something else. But I think that's been our biggest struggle this year, is not being able to score in the red zone. The shots are, times that we have scored have been, you know, explosives, you know, 30, 40 yards out. And I feel like we have to, you know, narrow it down and get some good calls and some good blocks or something in the red zone.
Not asking you to speak for us, just what's the attitude of your team after 2 close, kind of emotional, physical conference losses?
You know, offensive side, I can speak for the offensive side. You know, we just want to score more points. You know, we played a good Russian defense, number 1 in the nation, I think, Air Force, and then also a great
Boise defense. And, with the defense that were coming ahead, we faced some good defenses. And I think now, like I said, just scoring more points than the opponent. And I feel like that's how we always should treat it. So I think we're going to have a mentality that, we got to score every time we get the ball. And I think that, after, this week, I think we're going to, going this week, we should put up 30, 40 points going out. I really feel like we have the ability to do that. And like I said, there's been some mental mistakes that we have, but I feel like we're moving the ball well. But like I said, it's just scoring in the red zone. I feel like if we figure that situation out, then we can score a lot of points.
Kind of going with what Steve's saying with 2 tough losses. Last year, 2 losses by the Aggies would have still got you to the championship game if it would have stayed that way. Doesn't normally happen most years. It's kind of a little bit out of your hands now for conference championship that you're always talking about. Is that hard to deal with?
I mean, you can only control what you can control. We already have 2 losses, and now, like you said, it's out of our hands. And last year was out of our hands as well. And we just got to win out from now on. And, it's a crazy conference. Air Force and Boise and New Mexico and Boise, they always put up a fight. So, really, like I said, you can still go to the championship with 2 losses. But now, we got to win all these games. And if we don't do that, then we probably won't have a chance.
All of that's going to be easier if somebody starts running the ball better.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think that can develop?
I don't know, Tony, Devontae was hurt, so Tony has came in and he has done some good stuff, but I just feel like, for us to get everything going, we got to be able to run the ball. And if you want to win games, you have to run the ball. Like I said, we've been one-dimensional right now. We've been these past 2 games, I feel like, the receivers have done well. We have passed the ball well, but we haven't had a run game. But I feel like when we do have success, we are able, like I said, to run the ball and pass the ball. So that's what we got to fix is the run game right now. And also, get better with some of the pass game.